Welcome to the new Whiteboard sports program called Scenario-Based Selections. Follow this series as I walk you through each pick of each round in the draft. Each video will begin with a group of players to be selected from, plus the roster of the team currently picking. Welcome back to Scenario-Based Selections. We are at round 1, pick 5, and because we finished the last group of players, we have 4 more to draft from. As you can see, these 4 players are Julio Jones, Odell Beckham, LaShawn McCoy, and Mike Evans. From the previous episodes, we took Le'Veon Bell at 1, David Johnson at 2, Antonio Brown at 3, and Ezekiel Elliott at 4, so let's begin with the 5th pick. So because we're still in the first round, no one's on our team, so we don't really have to worry about team needs yet, so let's skip over that. Now let's write out 3 sets of numbers as we do for every pick, and I'm just going to give out this reminder. They don't make the picks for us. We don't have to use them, but they're tools. They help us, but we make the final decisions. They're not definite. If you remember from the previous episodes, these 3 numbers are the average points per game, and this is based on standard scoring because this is a standard league that we're drafting in. The next one is a similarity percentage, and basically if you don't know already, it's like how similar the player's offense is this year compared to last year. And then the third set of numbers are improvement rates. And if you don't know what that is yet, it's basically how many more attempts or targets a player could see this year compared to last year. Or really how much more a player's average points per game can improve this year. So with that said, let's write down the numbers. So let's see, Julio has a 12.6 average of last year. Odell's got a 12.2. McCoy's got a 16.6. And Evans has a 13 average. Now let's go to the similarity percentages. Julio's got a 95% similarity percentage. Odell's got a 77%. LaShawn McCoy's got a 73%. And Mike Evans has a 90%. And finally, for the improvement rates, Julio's got a 17.9. Beckham's got a 46.3. McCoy's got a 68.2. And Mike Evans has a 40.6. These averages, they're all really good still because we're in the first round. They're all still top-notch, top of the league. McCoy's got a 16.6. That's 3 behind Ezekiel Elliott, which was our last pick. And that's a difference of about 30 yards. And that's not so much, but it's a lot more than like the variance between all these receivers that we have right here. Like just say Mike Evans has the most, which is a 13 points per game of last year, and Julio's got a 12.6, but that's only 4 yards difference per game. And then Odell's got 4 yards less than Julio. So that's little variance. So that's not really gonna make our pick. Now looking at the similarity percentage, you can see that Julio's got a really good one. Basically, all the Falcons are back and they're ready to go. Mike Evans and the Buccaneers have 90%. That's still really good. And then the ones that are less is Odell and LaShawn. Odell's got a 77%, and that's really due to his running backs being gone. Really, Rashad Jennings. LaShawn McCoy has a 73%, and that's due to a lot of receivers. They may not be so great, but a lot of them are gone. And then also Mike Gillislee is gone, and he had a good amount of rushes last year. Staying with McCoy, let's move on to the improvement rates. As you can see, McCoy's got clearly the best improvement rate out of all of them, and that's really due to Mike Gillislee leaving because he had 105 rushes last year, and LaShawn could get a big chunk of that himself this year. So he could improve a lot. And Odell and Mike have just about the same improvement rate, and Julio's got a little bit less than that. So we're not really going to worry about that right now. Let's go into who I'm going to pick. At this point in the draft, the first round, I still do tend to value running backs over receivers because I just think that taking like a top-notch, like a top-tier running back right now and then taking still a top-tier receiver in the next round, that That's a really good 2 picks. And therefore, I'm going to take LaShawn McCoy with the 5th pick. And there's more factors to it. I really like McCoy, and that's because he gets a lot of goal line carries, and he's going to get even more this year. They really like him in the goal line. They have dual rushing threat with his quarterback Tyrod Taylor, which kind of mimics the Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott rushing threat. Both are pretty successful, in at least fantasy-wise, for the running backs. I really like that, and he's been with Buffalo now for 2 years, and that takes a lot of risk away, thinking whether he's going to live up to his average of last year and even before that. So I really do like LaShawn McCoy as a running back this year. I do really like these receivers too, Julio, Odell, and Mike. I really do like them, but there are a few factors that would sway me from taking them. And Julio is a monster. He's a physical monster, but he did slow down in numbers through the year, especially in touchdowns. And Odell is great as well, like Julio, but Brandon Marshall's coming to the Giants, and even though Odell is still going to be the number 1 receiver, that's going to take targets away from him. And Mike Evans had a great year. He had a breakout year last year. I don't know if he's going to get the same amount of targets and touchdowns as he did the year before, but he should still have a solid year, but I don't know if it's going to be a number 1 in points year again. Like I said before, I'd rather take like a LaShawn McCoy right now and then come back in the second round and take someone like a T.Y. Hilton who did just as well as these 3 receivers last year and kind of score a 2-1, because I like him. I like T.Y. just as much as these guys. And so I'm going to stick to that strategy for pick number 5. With all this said, I'm going to choose McCoy with my number 5 pick, and we'll move on from there.